they use them for all kinds of, terrible, dark reasons.
They use it to steal human resources as well as geological resources.
Yeah, well, not to get into the darkness of their activity, but the point is that we keep hearing, and I just can't wait, till we get some confirmation, because the mainstream news, the MSM, mainstream media, refuses to comment on any of it, because they're all bought and paid for by the bankers, you see. But until people get real confirmation, there's just a handful of people reporting on this. But every week we hear, through the grapevine, like I'm saying, we're not getting confirmation, but we're hearing how more and more people are being rounded up, by military, subjected to military tribunals. Some of them are being just flat out executed. I've heard that even the likes of the last president, Obama, is being held, and Hillary Clinton is being held at Guantanamo Bay. But I don't know.
A prison community.
Yes, yes. I don't know. Can you comment on any of that?
Soon I may
Soros,
be able to, but at this time, no.
I'm sorry?
Soon, perhaps, but at this moment, no.
To their knowledge, she's not? Or you get, or
I'm not able to comment.
You're not able to comment, okay.
I can say that, and this may help you,
Yeah.
and those who watch this, there have been additions and modifications,
Yes.
which are evident to Guantanamo.
Yeah, yeah, good. Well, that's good confirmation, because I've heard that as well, that they've made the facility bigger.
Your country, if they were not going to use the place,
Yeah.
would not be putting the time, labor, and money
Exactly.
into doing so.
Yeah, but again, the mainstream media hasn't commented on that either. So, you commenting on it, lends more credence to reports that we've heard that. But nobody else in the, mainstream news has said, even that. The only thing I've heard along these lines whatsoever recently, there was, well, two things I'll comment. Around Christmas time, there was a couple, very wealthy connections, very wealthy family, and they were involved in some type of a, oh my gosh, I forget what their line of business was, modeling or something, but very rich families, and they were tied. They were arrested and they put in jail, and it did make the mainstream news because they were involved in a deep pedophile ring. Okay, and they reported on it a couple times, but then the story kind of went away. And then the only other thing that was reported on by a couple news magazines, I think I read it last in Bloomberg, which is a very total business. It's like Wall Street Journal, business people read it, and they reported that Roman Polanski was arrested in Switzerland. He stepped outside. He's a guy that was known for a very public, getting his hands caught for raping a teenage girl. And he ran away. He left the country and ran to France. And France took him in and failed to extradite him. To face charges, and he's made movies. He was a filmmaker, a famous filmmaker, and he's made several movies, all along the way, since then, and had and traveled around in Europe. He never came back to the States, to my knowledge, but apparently, Switzerland is some of the people in the Swiss government, are trying to do the good thing, and when it was realized he was in Switzerland, they said, "Hey, you want this guy? Here he is. We got him for you." So
Good enough.
I mean, these are kind of drop in the buckets what we're getting confirmation on, but if it's representative of all, it's like, my gosh, if any of this stuff is true, then within a few months there should be just a flood, like the dam should just break open within at least a few months before summer.
Well, remember when we had this conversation previously, I was advising you that this is being handled, especially in your country, as delicately as possible.
Yeah.
So that you don't end up having what could be riots in the streets.
Yeah.
Because there are forces in your military who would put the riots down.
Yeah.
At a bloody cost to a lot of good people.
Yes, yes.
And since it's known that Americans can be very hot-tempered and that they can riot, you have a saying at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
This is being handled as gracefully and quietly as possible.
Yeah.
So that one old guard way of doing things, which is failing,
Yes.
will be replaced quietly, bit by a new way of doing things.
Well, a lot of it too, I've heard recently, is that Trump and his administration, and with help from the military, is starting to take down the supporting network of legislatures, the judges, the satanic judges, network of judges that are across the country, that are helping to facilitate, these bad people that never get prosecuted, that's starting to come undone. And again, hopefully, so, at a certain point, it's like, once enough of the network is destroyed, then I guess, they can come clean and tell everybody, hey, look, this is, a new day.
Our concerns are that, and again, this is especially in your country, not to pick on your people or your country, but there is a difference between religion and spirituality.
Yeah.
They're not the same, and though it is possible to experience some degree of spirituality within a religion.
Yeah.
However, when the news does come across, in the sense that your history has been so, well, your history's a lie.
Yes.
Now, when the news does come across in this way, you're going to find that many of your religions have to be reconsidered much differently than they are now. And some of your people will simply not do that no matter what happens, and others will be more than glad to. Our concerns at this time, and we do not want to go into displaying a potential scenario one way or another about this, because then this gives fuel to a fire that doesn't need to happen. Our concern is that once this is all said and done, the changes are set in place.
Yeah.
That there will be a tendency, especially among your people,
You mean Americans?
yes, to adopt to what is known as what you call the religious right.
Right.
Where you will have very, very ultra-conservative
Yes.
people mixing religion in with your government,
Yes.
which according to your own laws was never supposed to happen.
Yeah, right.
This is something that we hope the pendulum will reach a mid-state and not go swinging to the point that
That's a very real and scary possibility.
it is, and it bothers us as well, because we see that as a potential. We're hoping that there will be enough educated minds who will resist that temptation, so
Yeah.
that while those who would traffic and abuse of people and animals will be done away with,
Because
those who would
yeah.
promote the complete opposite direction and abuse people in different ways in the name of their view of God or religion, we also do not wish for that to happen.
Yeah.
We wish for your people to take the next step into their spiritual growth.
Mm-hmm.
And one way would be to see where spirituality can fit within and serve the highest potential of a religious faith.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're not advising for humanity to give up its religions. It should not do that. We're advising for them to see the real meaning of their religions and really fulfill those meanings.
Yeah, but don't you think, let's be frank, or, pragmatic, what have you. At a certain point, when people realize the part that religions have played to lead us astray and to separate us from our true natures and understanding of who we are, I'll think, it seems to me that at that point, when it really sinks in, to people's consciousness, that, they're going to think, as I do, as I have for a long time, there's not enough left in religion to salvage. And that all religion, is left to do is to separate people. The whole idea of religions very quickly morphed into this: our God is right, your God is a dumbass. Only our people are going to be saved. Your people are all going to hell. And, it's not just one religion. You take all the largest religions.
There's another issue here.
Let me just say this. The right-wing Christians, the right-wing Muslims, and the right-wing Jews, they're just as bad as each other. They are, each one of them. If you go into their writings and listen to what their teachers teach, the supposedly enlightened ones of their lot, the real religious of their groupings, it's terrible.
This is understood, but then again, you have to understand what you call intellectuals of a society will get this. But the bulk of most societies across the face of your planet are not intellectuals.
Exactly. And intellectuals, smart people tend not to get involved with telling other people what to do. The people that are running around telling everyone what to do, in most cases, are the exact people that shouldn't be telling them what to do, because they don't know their ass from a hole in the ground, as my dad used to say.
It's also a fact that many of your people tend to try to please others, but they need to learn that it's okay to say no.
Yeah.
I'm not going to follow that, or I don't believe that way, but you're free to.
Yes.
At any rate,
So anyway.
our time for this evening is up, and we will plan on another one of these probably in about a week's time.
Well, we're just, usually we do around an hour. We're just at
Not this evening.
No? Okay. All right. Well, thank you, and see you again soon.
Looking forward to it.